Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 32 of our Let's Play series for Football Manager 2016. Alrighty, we've got only a couple more games, and our first game against Shakhtar, which is going to be massive. So, what I'm thinking I'm going to do, I'm going to run through the Canberra and Heracles games. Jump into our schedule, there we go. So we got those, one an away game against Canberra and a home game against Heracles. So I'll run through both of those off camera, and then we'll jump back into it on game day against Shakhtar and see if we can get a better result than we did last season. So do a little bit of research on that kind of stuff, see if we can shut them down. So that should be interesting. Alrighty guys, I'll be back shortly. Okay everyone, we're back. It's game day against Shakhtar. So look at the last couple of matches. We had a good 2-0 win against Canberra, if I can talk, and a 0-0 against Heracles. So it was a little bit disappointing given it was a home game, but we did basically rotate our entire team. So that was, probably to be expected a little bit. Unfortunate thing happened in the Canberra game. Sillerson dislocated his shoulder, so he's going to be out for 5 to 7 weeks. So he's going to miss a bunch of Champions League games, which is very, very unfortunate. So obviously we're going to have Peter Lundberg is going to be our number one, and I've actually brought in Stan van Bladeren from the B team, so he's going to be our backup goalie if we need them. So yeah, it's a bit disappointing. El Ghazi got injured for a couple of weeks in that game against Heracles, so he's going to miss this game, but he shouldn't be out for too long. But that's okay, we've got Milik who can play anyway. So El Ghazi have been playing very well, so 3 goals in 4 games, or 4 starts, and then 4 sub appearances, so he's been doing quite well, but that's okay. Excuse me. Alrighty, so we're going to look at Shakhtar, do a little bit of analysis about Shakhtar. As we found last time, it's a little bit difficult because we don't have their league, like their league game, so we don't really get that view kind of thing. So most of the players haven't changed from what I can see. There's no one really that they've brought in that I've really got to worry about particularly. We know the dangers and stuff. Looking here, they haven't got really a whole lot of players injured. They've got Dario Serna, who's injured. Marlos, who was absolutely lethal against us last season, but he's suspended, which is good, I suppose, for this game. Yeah, so well, actually look at that. Like 2 of their top goal scorers actually suspended for this match, so that's probably pretty good for us. Alex Texiera is actually listed for transfer, which is a bit surprising given he's been playing so well. But yeah, anyway. Oh, that was appearances, wasn't it? Oh dear, that's terrible. Goals. Looking at goals, that's what I wanted. So who on earth are you? Can't even pronounce your name, not even going to try. Still can't really see your stats, can you? Right, what am I going to do? I should have done this a lot. I've said this multiple times. I should have done this before. So we're going to get our main guy to get a team report on Shakhtar. So next game, we should have complete stats for everybody. So I probably should have done that a couple of seasons ago, but anyway, that's fine. We'll get it done. So I'm not sure it's too much to look at there. Look at their tactics. We pretty much know what they play, though. It looks like they have varied a little bit this season, though. So they do change around a bit. Last game they played a 4-4-2, which is they didn't play against us last season. So if they played a 4-4-2, I'd be pretty happy actually, because our formation does fairly well against a 4-4-2. So we'll see what happens there. Looking at some goals here, as we found last season, there's not too much we can read into this because unfortunately there's not really a whole lot. A lot of assists from the left though, so we're going to look at who plays on the left. And in terms of their conceding goals, not really a whole lot there either, fairly well spread. So that's probably the only thing there that we see is the left-hand side. We'll keep an eye on their left-hand, either their fullbacks or their attacking midfield lefts. A few penalties there, and most of them play shots, so that's fine. Shows they're not getting a whole lot of crosses in because they're getting only 1 header. A few assists as crosses actually, which is interesting. But mainly it's as through balls, so I'm thinking that probably isn't a bit of an indication that we should play. Well, I was going to anyway, but it's probably more of an indication that we should play our counter-attacking formation, because that means we're going to sit back very deep. So they shouldn't ever be able to go through ball against us if we're sitting back that deep and defending. It should be only if we're playing a little bit higher up and actually get some space in behind us. So if we shut off the space, it looks like we should hopefully be able to shut them down. So yeah, so we're going to see how we go. Cool, righty, so we are going to jump into our defensive formation. Just do a quick bit to get most of these ones done. So, so Rick Karstorp's going to start on the left. We've got Veltman. Vagiva's not going to start. I'm actually going to give Sviatchenko another run. He's a bit rusty in his first couple of games, but we'll give him another go there. I'm a little bit torn about who to play, whether it's Boyleson or Dykes. Obviously, Boyleson's a little bit down on conditioning, but he's the more defensively solid of the two, and he's also in a little bit better form than Boyleson. Yeah, I'm going to start Dykes. I'll start Dykes. I've always got Boyleson if we need to there. Given it's a bit of a defensive one, I'd like to have a bit more of a better defensive player in there. I suppose we could even put Vergever in, who's even more defensively solid. So he's got 14 positioning compared to like 11. Yeah, so maybe I should do that actually. So it's probably really positioning is the main, wasn't it? Comparison against Dykes. A little bit better anticipation. Physicals are pretty much the same. Teamwork and stuff is fine. Marking, tackling 14, 13. So what's Vergever? I suspect it's going to be a little bit better than that. 14, 15. Yes, a little bit better positioning. All right. So Vergever's going to be the defensive option. So we're going to go ultra defensive. We're going to put Vergever in to start there. We're going to have Dykes as the backup. So we'll put Boyleson won't be in there this time. The Manu G is not going to start that defensive mid role, I don't think. No, we're going to get, if we can get him, where is he? Christopher Ayar. He's going to start there. Yep, you're the better defensive mid, so we're going to start you in that role. Could have the Manu G in that box to box. He's probably the best option there. We've either got him or we can probably put in Ruben Jensen. Or Sinkgraven or Donny Vandenbeek. No, probably not Donny Vandenbeek. He's down on conditioning. So, thinking probably... Yeah, probably the Manu G is the best. We'll put Klassen as our central midfielder attacking. Shone is going to play on the right. Yep, that's fine. Fisher's on the left and Milik up forward. So that should be our team, which is good. So we need a couple of another extra subs. So who are we going to put in? Probably take out Donny Vandenbeek, put in... who are we going to put in? Not Boyleson, not Wesley. Probably Ruben Jensen, given though he's down on conditioning a bit. I think we'll put you in. I think we'll put in Eunice as well. Alrighty, there we go. There we go. So I think that's our strongest team, which is fine. So tactical fluidity is not 100%, which is not ideal, but I think it's probably the best way to go. Given that we sort of went out and trying to attack Shakhtar at home last season, they absolutely slaughtered us. Absolutely ripped us to shreds. They are playing the 4-4-2, so that's interesting. So, obviously look at a 4-4-2 formation. What is the strength of the 4-4-2? It's the two strikers and it's the wing. There's sort of these two wing players here on both sides. They've got a lot of sort of strength down the wings because they're quite close together. And obviously the big weakness is through the middle here. So what we're going to do, we're going to look around the side, because generally what I would do against a 4-4-2 would be to play a little bit wider to sort of compensate for these sort of wide plays, to make sure we don't give them too much space out wide, and then focus play through the middle, so to take advantage of our extra man through the middle. So Christopher Ayer, in theory, he's going to sit where he's going to sit defensive. He's going to sit here, so he's going to sit in this big gap here. So he should, in theory, have a lot of room and dictate the play. So if we play it through the middle through him, he should have a very big role. So I'm actually half tempted now to actually change his role there to a deep lane playmaker. It's a little bit not as defensive, but I'm thinking maybe it's going to give him a little bit more license to have a bit more of an attacking threat. So it's a bit of a risk. It's sort of a catch-22. It means he's going to be a lot more attacking, but he's not going to be quite as defensively solid. But I think it's worth it though, given that we're going to have the midfield numbers in superiority here. He should have heaps of space sitting in this big block here. So I think that's what I'll do. I think I'll change that role to a deep lane playmaker before the game starts. What we're also going to do, it's a little bit of a danger because these two wide players are going to sit in these sort of holes here, so we're not really going to have anyone picking them up in particular. So I'm thinking potentially what we could either do, we could get our wide players, our advanced wide players here to actually man mark their fullbacks to make sure they don't get too much space. I may watch the first 5 or 10 minutes like in full and see what their fullbacks are doing. If their fullbacks are ultra attacking or they're getting a lot of space and they're pushing forward a lot, we will probably man mark them. If we don't though, I'm thinking I may not, because I don't want these guys to get too dragged out of position too much, especially as these guys, their sort of midfield players are sitting back a lot more than what they normally would. Against the two strikers, I'm not too worried about that. We should be fine there. Got the defensive mid here. If Tyson, it looks like Tyson is going to drop back. So that's fine. So we've got Bernard on the left. So Bernard, what feet are you? Reasonable on your left and strong on your right. So what are their strikers like? So we can't really see, can we? Headings 10 to 14, so not amazing. Heading 7 to 11. Alright, so they're not an amazing heading team. So thinking I'm actually going to funnel both their wide players down the line. Probably not you though, Alan Patrick. Yeah, you got decent crossing, so and you're also strong on your right. So may put you onto your left. Which is going to be a little bit dangerous because we are going to funnel you inwards, but I'm thinking that may be okay. I'm thinking when I get Bernard to funnel him down the left to force him to cross. So given we're sitting so deep, we should be fine to deal with their crosses. They're not an amazing heading team, so I think that's what we're going to do. Alright, that's what we're going to do. So we get Bernard to funnel you down the left, put you on your left foot. We're going to put Alan Patrick on your left as well, so he comes inwards, which is his weaker. So hopefully it means because he's on his weaker foot, if we can force him onto his weak, he shouldn't be able to do a whole lot of damage coming in, even though that's sort of, the dangerous area in the middle. What else are we going to do? What does our assistant say? So, hard tackling, no, I don't like it. Closing Alex Texiera, which is in the middle, and Bernard, yeah, I'm happy with those. Weaker foot so Tyson, I'll look at your feet. Reasonable on your left, strong on your right. Alright, we'll show you onto the left. And Kovalenko. So you're only reasonable on your left as well. And Patrick and Bernard. So you put you onto your left, you onto your left. There we go. Alrighty, so expected win, fans were expecting the same, so not let them down. There we go. And I'm just going to say, I believe in you. You can do it. Cool. Alrighty, tactics. I'm going to change this rather defensive mid to a deep lane playmaker on defend. So he's already got the whole position, which is fine. It just gives him a little bit more room or license to close down. I'm actually going to drop closing down for him. I don't know. I'll leave it as it was. I won't make any changes. I was thinking maybe dropping down a little so he sort of stays in position a little bit more. Doesn't get overrun there, but I'm thinking that's probably going to be okay. Alright, so that's the player stuff there. We're going to jump into our team tactics, and we're going to play a little wider, I think, and we're also going to exploit the middle. So I'm going to watch, like I said, I'm going to watch it fairly closely. I'll see if we need to man mark their fullbacks, but for the moment, that's what we're going to run with, guys. So essentially just to full match for the first 10 minutes. Alright, guys, I'm going to pause the video, and we'll be back shortly. Alrighty guys, just going to show you this. So we're 24 minutes in and we're absolutely dominating at the moment. So look at some stats here. Had 8 shots, only 1 on target though, which is a little bit disappointing. We're not really converting our shots, but we're getting massive amounts of possession. Our pass completion rate is brilliant. Their formation, they've picked a bad formation because we're just really overrunning the midfield and they're not getting enough space. They're not getting what they, not taking advantage of their strength, and we're taking advantage of ours. We're just absolutely dominating the midfield. So we have a quick look at a bit of analysis here. So if there's anything we can actually pick up to actually sort of take advantage of. So that's our heat map there, and we're going to look at our with the ball. So we're fairly well, actually we're fairly high up. So I'm thinking that means they're going to be fairly well. Yeah, they're very deep. They are very, very deep. So that's something we have to keep an eye on, make sure they don't draw us too far forward, because we should generally we would be playing a lot more deeply than that. They're playing very, very deep, so interesting. What do we do about that? I mean, obviously they haven't had any major chances yet, which is fine. Alrighty, no, I think that's okay. We've got a lot of room through here, through this middle bit, so I'm thinking maybe it means we should take off exploit the middle. If we're getting too much play through here but not really doing enough with it, maybe we should just take off exploit the middle. Because I mean, obviously we're going to have that natural advantage in the middle anyway, so even without exploit the middle on, we're probably going to take advantage of that. So I'm just thinking maybe it's stifling our play a little bit if we're trying to funnel it through the middle too much. And if they're without the ball, yeah, so they're actually very narrow. So if normally a 4-4-2, you'd expect them to be a lot more wide. So I actually am going to do that. So jump into our tactics. I'm going to take off the exploit the middle and just leave it naturally there. So they actually are playing for like a 4-4-2. You normally sort of expect to see them a lot more wide than this, but they're playing very sort of narrow through the middle here. So that's probably why we've gotten a lot of, come Jackie to us, a lot of room right through here, because this is basically sort of that, if we sort of overlay it, And the without the ball. It's going to be a bit messy, but here you go. So this sort of area is where we have the ball, so you can actually see this sort of heat map bit there. So this is sort of, you actually see they've got a whole bunch of players through here. That's probably why we've got a lot of play there, but we're not really converting it into opportunities properly. That's probably why we haven't had a lot of shots on target. Just having probably enough room and stuff like that. So yeah, so that's okay. So we're going to do that. Hopefully that means we're going to be a little bit more decisive. We're going to take these off. There we go. Have a quick look at our passing, see how we're going. I mean, it's not too much, obviously 24 minutes in the game. A lot more over the right over here, which probably would be expected. Some intercepts out of play, nothing too much there. What about Shakhtar? Yeah, nothing too much to notice there. Have a look at their average positions again. So I'm looking for basically... So the left back's pushed up a little bit further. So where's Bernard? Is that Bernard? No. There's Bernard. So Bernard's actually like their wide. He's over here somewhere, but he's playing right through the middle. So I think that means they're probably actually swapping players. So that could be an indication. So you sort of have to be careful. That even though it shows they're being narrow, could just mean they're actually swapping sides. Which means obviously because it's playing some halfway, either side, it could sort of average out to being in the middle. So we'll keep an eye on that. But I think I'm okay with it, given the heat map for us actually showed that we had all this sort of play through here, that big sort of heat spot there. All right, so that's fine, guys. I'm going to make those changes, and I'll pause the video again, and we'll be back hopefully at halftime with a good result. Okay, 1-0 at halftime, which is good. So Milik actually got a penalty, so Fisher won the penalty. It was a brilliant, I can't remember who had the assist to Fisher. That was probably, I think it was Shona actually. The big crossfield pass onto Fisher running to the box, and then he won the penalty. Milik tucked it away, which was brilliant. So we are 1-0 up, still dominating, which is really, really good. Have another quick look at the analysis, make sure nothing's changed. We'll look at some match stats here. So possession still 54%. Got a few more shots on target, which is good. I think our play has been a lot better, a little bit more fluent. Pass completion rate has dropped. I'm not too worried about that though, so that's fine. We don't want to have massive, sometimes you've got massive pass completion rate, like, around the 90, which is what we sort of did have before. It shows you're actually not really taking enough risks. You're just sort of playing really safe all the time, so I'm not too worried about that. Anything in the 80s is usually good. So another quick look at the analysis here. So you actually see this little hotspot has moved a little bit, so that's okay, I think. So look at with the ball, nothing's changed there with and without the ball. Still very well spaced, lots of good linkage play there, which is fine. We're a little bit too much of a gap on the left, but that's not too bad. So you look at Shakhtar now. So they're pretty much the same. So they're still very, very narrow with and without the ball. So yeah, that's okay. They're playing very, very deep, so which is interesting. So obviously because we were the favourites, so that's probably why, because they obviously come here. It's our home game. We're the favourites. That's probably why they're playing ultra defensive. It's not working for them at the moment, so but obviously they do have a lot of good players. You have to be careful of that. One thing I'm going to check with Shakhtar is turn on the movement thing here. Basically, I want to make sure they're not getting through our lines a lot. So I'm going to double check these three across here. Make sure they're not sort of balls over the top. So I'm going to check this first one here. This number 3 for them. So where's that? This guy here. Alright, so that was nothing to worry about. Number 28. Yep, Tyson. Alright, so they ended up being free kick, so that was okay. And lastly, this 15 here, which is Alan Patrick out on the wing. See their fullback coming up there, so that's something you have to keep an eye on. Haven't noticed it too much. Yeah, so that was actually probably their best chance of the half. We watched that again. That was probably one of the better times that their attacking play actually worked. They overloaded the flanks, which they didn't do a whole lot. So you actually see here their fullback coming forward, the 2-on-1 there. He managed to get past Vagiva. Puts a ball in, and Gutierrez, oops. Veltman, how do you mean to do that? Didn't do the team talk, did I? Damn. Alright, that's okay. I'm going to do one now and say, just going to encourage them. Anyway, so anyway, that was fun, so I won't run into that. But that was probably their best chance of the half. Tyson had a good shot on the side there, but it didn't manage to get on target. So anyway, that's fine. Alright guys, I'm going to pause the video again, and we'll be back at the end of the game. Okay, 2-0 win. Very, very, very pleasing after the way that Shakhtar absolutely demolished us last season. in the Champions League. That is very, very pleasing. I think we shut the game down really well, and we played really well. The second goal was absolutely brilliant. A wonderful team goal. Finished off by Karsdorp there, but the whole team played really, really well. So that was really good. Very, very happy. It says can't think of anything particular. I'm actually going to say it was a good win because it was. Post-match. Alright guys, I'm going to show you the highlights here. So I'm going to show you the goals. First goal here. So that was the penalty. I'm just going to show you before that, the actual build-up play. So if we can see it here. Nope. Back. Here we go. There we go. Alright, so we see here Shone picks the ball up. Fisher makes a really good run there. So see here, Fisher makes a great run, brings the ball down, and then gets tackled. So that was the first goal. We run through to the second goal here. This was a really good team goal. So it sort of had bit of it like a big build up here. I'm going to show you guys all of it. So this was the initial part. I think we lose the ball and then we win it back again. So there's Shane, brings it forward, which is good. So lots of really good play. So Class in the menu G. Yeah, so we lost the ball there and then we win it back again. Christopher Ayer gets it back, which is really good. It brings it out to Karsdorp. Sends it forward to Shone. That was a brilliant ball. So you actually see there, Shone is occupying the space of their fullback there in Sobel. So yes, that was really good. And then Karsdorp makes a brilliant run. He's made onside by number 18 there, one of their centre backs, which is good. You can actually see Fisher there occupying their fullback, and Milik drew the other centre back to him, which left this big space open, and he's had the presence of mind to draw that player to him, and then had the ability to actually see and then execute the pass through to Karsdorp, who slots it home, lobs it home over the keeper. That was a brilliant goal. So that's his first goal for us. So very, very good. That was a brilliant goal. Brilliant team goal as well. So that was really, really pleasing. So there we go. That was good, guys. So very, very happy with that. Not a whole lot, I think, in terms of looking at the analysis here. I might run through a few things. Just have a quick look, so a bit of a recap of it all. Yes, that was fine. Fine. It's all pretty stock standard, nothing too amazing there. Just some players out of position because of the subs and stuff. Don't worry too much about that, so I'm not too worried about that. Yeah, so Shakhtar did play very, very deep, which was a little bit surprising to me. They probably did attack a little bit more in the second half. If we come and look here, so that's the overall. If we come back and bring this just to the second half. Yeah, so you actually see the second half, they were pushed up a lot as compared to the first half. If we come to the overall, they're a long way back, and then the second half they did push up. So, which is obviously to be expected given that they had to chase the game, they had to push up a lot, so we managed to cope with that well. Actually did end up dropping our defensive line because they looked like they needed a little bit too much getting some balls in behind us, so actually dropped our defensive line, which actually made us a lot more compact in the second half because they weren't sitting back so far, so it wasn't drawing us out as much, and we could actually sort of sit back and play our normal counter-attacking defensive game, which ended up working really well. So they did have a few shots, but nothing too major, nothing that obviously eventuated, which was good. So they had a few scoring chances there, so I won't run through any of those, but yeah, it was overall, I think we did really well. So they did push up their fullbacks a lot in the second half, a lot more than they did in the first half anyway, but I thought about man marking their fullbacks, but I thought, no, I'll leave it to see how we went, and we did do fairly well. A few sort of dodgy moments at times, which is probably to be expected, but yeah, I think overall we did really well. So I think probably next time, I doubt they'll actually play this formation again at home. I reckon they'll go back to their their standard 4-1-2-3, whatever it was they usually play. But yeah, anyway, we can deal with that. So I'm not going to run through any much of analysis. I think we've already seen the main bits in the bits that we've already seen. So a lot of play through the middle there, which is fun. As pretty expected with it, because we did obviously dominate the midfield, as we should have done with the formation. I'm surprised they didn't actually change formation. I probably would have expected that they would do, but they actually didn't any time. So only got one lost header or tackle there, I should say. Have a quick look at this. So keep an eye on 27 to menu G. So that was the ball forward. Yeah, so that wasn't too bad. There was obviously a couple of players there anyway, so I'm not too worried about that. None of these other ones are really too much to worry about, I don't think. So look at aerial challenges now. So what about key, lost, miss? So we missed a couple here. Actually, have a quick look at these. So they're probably going to be from corners and stuff. So look at number 3. There we go. Keep an eye on Veltman. Yeah, so it said miss, but to me it really wasn't. It was nowhere near him. So, and Karsdorp was there to knock it away. So for me, that's not a missed header. And we're looking at 20. So Shone. And again, we won that header anyway, so I'm not worried about that either. It's the ones that you lose that end up sort of resulting in scoring chances and things like that, that you've got to sort of have a little bit of a look at about why it happened. Like obviously, like I've said before, mistakes and stuff happen, and you're always, like, especially against the better teams, you're going to have situations where you make mistakes and like they get opportunities and stuff. It's just unavoidable. Or generally it's unavoidable, so you don't read too much into them, but you sort of, like I've mentioned before, you're looking for patterns, you're looking for sort of repeatable things that are happening. So if your fullback is consistently missing, getting skinned or missing interceptions or something like that, and then you maybe look at lowering his closing down so he doesn't sort of get closed down as much, and then they don't get the opportunity to go past him, so maybe he can stand off a little bit more and things like that. Those are the kind of things that you're looking out for. So nothing too much there that I'm really worried about. You can look at our crossing here. We've had a lot more from the right, which is to be expected. About Shakhtar from their crossing, actually, just out of interest sake. They had a lot, didn't they? So what about their second half? Yes, most of that. So actually say that most of that was in the second half. Which is not surprising. They actually went a lot more attacking than that. So, yeah. So then there was a lot from there down their right-hand side, pushing their fullbacks forward. So I could have potentially man-marked, and that would have shut down a lot of this. But I'm not too worried about that. Obviously, it did work out. Should look at their scoring chances. I think they were all in the second half from memory. Obviously, these aren't everything. So yeah, they were mainly all in their second half. Had a half chance in the first half, so yeah, so that's probably an indication that maybe I should have changed things a little bit. It did work out, but obviously they did push on a lot more, and it did put us under a lot more pressure, so maybe I should have actually man-marked. So the formation, the defensive counter-attacking formation is sort of designed to actually man-mark their fullbacks, to actually sort of really shut them down and be like an ultra-defensive formation, and then we counter-attack. So that's probably a lesson for me, that I should have actually probably changed that in the second half, because I knew they would have to push on. Because obviously they were chasing the game, so that was to be fine. All right, that was really good. Really pleasing to get a win against that. That was very, very, very good, especially after last season when they absolutely tormented us, which was just a nightmare. So, it's pleasing. Pleasing to get a win on the board. I'm hopeful now. I'm hopeful that we can, if we do sort of put the work into all that kind of stuff, in the rest of our Champions League games, that we can actually clinch second spot. I don't think we're going to get first, but we're obviously going to do our best. So if we just have a look at the competitions, so obviously us and PSG are on top. So interesting. So what's our next game? I think was it away against Hoffenheim from memory? Yeah, away against Hoffenheim. So that's actually going to be another big game. So Hoffenheim got smashed by PSG. So you would have thought, like, if you're looking at the ratings, it's probably going to be, you would have thought, like, before the thing started, PSG, Shakhtar, and then us and Hoffenheim, I would have thought would be fairly similar. So how are Hoffenheim going? So actually, they are sitting fourth this season. They're playing fairly well, really. So actually get smashed by PSG was probably a big thing. So interesting. So we're probably going to run through. What have we got the game? How many have we got? We've got... all right, we've got a Dutch Cup second round game and then a home game against Groningen in the Eredivisie. So what I might actually do, we should be totally fine in the Telstar game. And then probably hopefully against the Groningen as well. They're not playing that well, sitting 16th. So what I may actually do, guys, 28 minutes, yeah. Right, this may end up being a bit of a long episode, but I think what I actually do, I actually run through the next couple of games really quickly, and we'll pick the video up against the game against Hoffenheim, and yeah, that should be, we'll probably get another Champions League game in for this episode, just a little bit more action for you guys, so I'll be back shortly. Okay everyone, game day against Hoffenheim. Last two games we had a good 3-1 win against Telstar and then an even better 4-0 victory against Groningen. So let's have a quick look at Sam de Jong. He's actually having a bit of a ridiculously good season. So he's played, 6 starts, he's had 2 goals, 3 assists. He is doing brilliantly well, even though he's only playing on the attacking midfield right in an unpreferred role. So if we can actually get his competency up there a little bit, up to maybe accomplished or something, I think he's going to be an absolute machine out there. So he's only 28, so he should give us another 4 years, I reckon, of probably top class performances as an advanced playmaker out there. So very, very pleasing. He's doing really well. Alrighty, it is game day against Hoffenheim. Like I mentioned, we're going to do a little bit of an analysis with Hoffenheim now. Jumping here into the overview. So what are we looking at here? Looking at their right backs. Obviously, got a very good right back. Not particularly quick. I mean, he's fairly quick, but not amazingly so. Crossing's not amazing. Good heading, though. Termination work rate. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Yep, that's cool. Who else have we got? Looking at their centre-backs here, so fairly slow, 11 to 10 to 16, so it's not particularly quick. Fabian Schär and Nicholas Soule. And yeah, you're relatively quick, 10 to 13, 13 to 16, so you're not too bad. So they've really got slow centre-backs, which is a good thing to know. Also, they got... And you're a quick centre-back as well, so... Alright, cool, good to know. You've got quite a lot of good centre-backs. Herman Schwegler. So defensive mid. Interesting, quite a technical player, you know, fairly good passing, composure. Physicals aren't great though. I see you're there. Centre mid. Brilliant vision. So I assume they're going to be playing with an AMC. We haven't looked at their tactics yet. So Christian Benteke is one of their strikers, obviously a bit of a beast, very, very strong, great jumping, great heading. So I'm thinking probably going to be, I would suspect they're maybe going to be crossing quite a bit, so I have to keep an eye out for that. It depends on what other formation, I guess, what they play, if they play 2 up top or 1 up top, so I have to keep an eye on that. Alrighty, so jump into their tactics now. So they do jump around a little bit, so usually 4-4-2, but they do start with a 4-2-4 sometimes. So yeah, they do usually start with 2 strikers all the time, so that's a good thing to know. Looks like they switched around within game sometimes to a 4-1-4-1, which is good to know as well. So we keep an eye out there for a formation switch during the game. What else have we got? Goals. Look at their goals. So nothing particularly there. A lot of central goals, which is interesting. Yep, that's fine. Assist location. So a fair bit from left. Quite a few long balls actually, which probably maybe, well, you know, deep assist there. So probably suggests maybe they're hitting big balls forward to Benteke, which is their big target man. So we'll keep an eye on that. Most of their assists come through out wide, so I'll keep an eye on that as well. But they don't really come through the middle, so thinking they're gonna be like playing, if they do play like their 4-4-2, obviously using their wing play. But I think, like we saw at the Shakhtar game, if we can play our defensive one, our formation is really going to fit if they do play a 4-4-2. So we'll keep an eye on that. Nothing particularly. A little bit more down the left. They do concede sort of out wide more than through the middle. Which is probably not really surprising given they attack more down the left. So obviously if you attack down there, it leaves you a bit open sometimes down the flanks. Goal types. We'll actually go for assist. So pass, cross, throw in, long ball. Yes, there's some long balls. They do get quite a few long balls. So that's interesting. So I think that's going to work with our defensive tactic. It means they're not going to be, getting too many long balls, hopefully, forward. I mean, they get the long balls forward, but hopefully it's not going to cause us too many problems. We'll have to be careful we don't sit too deep. Because obviously if they are hitting long balls forward, if we're sitting very, very deep, it does give them, if Benteke can keep winning that ball like right on the edge of our penalty area, it's going to be very, very dangerous. So maybe we have to push up a little bit more. So maybe we could even look at switching our match tactic from, or match, whatever it is, setting from defensive to counter, which is going to push us up a little bit higher. We'll keep an eye on that. It depends who plays, depending how quick if they're going to be looking for through balls. They have a look through here, they don't really have a whole lot of through balls. So that's not really a danger. So I'm actually thinking maybe we will. Maybe we're going to switch up our, like I said, our match strategy, whatever it is, from defensive to counter, just push ourselves up a little bit more. Just we're not sort of camped on the box, which means it's going to be really easy for them to get winning balls just around our penalty area, which would be a bit of a disaster given they've got such a good target man. So goal types, a lot of placed shots, some overhead kicks, which obviously indicates some balls coming in from out wide, some headers as well. So so thinking they're going to be attack out wide. So the two main avenues of attack can be out wide, probably some crossing, I suspect, and then also some long balls through to a target man. So that's good to know. We can take that into consideration. That's probably all we really need to know for now. So it's a away game. The weather's fine, which is good. So they are playing the 4-4-2, which is also good to know. So they've got Eric. He's a striker, so he's quite a quick striker from what we can see, potentially anyway. Can't see there all his stats there. And obviously you can see Benteke is a brilliant, brilliant target man, so I have to keep an eye on him. Look at his feet here, so he's reasonable on his left, so potentially we could show him onto his left. I'll keep an eye on that. So actually, if you jump back to Hoffenheim, to their players, who's scoring all their goals? So we've got their right back, which is interesting, score a lot of goals. Oh, that's appearance, I did it again. Alright, here we go, goals. So Benteke, Benteke is their main man, and then we've got Thorgan Hazard, and then someone out on loan, Eric. Alright, that's fine. And what about average rating? Who's their best player? So sort of their centre back, defensive mid. Looks like you're probably their left winger, who's actually injured though. He's been doing a couple of goals, not too many assists though. Just fine. The goalkeeper's been playing well. All right, so that's cool. Good to know anyway. So, excuse me. So, yeah, we've got our defensive formation. Just going to do a bit of a quick pick. We did completely switch our formation around our team around last time. So we've got Dykes on the left. Yes, he was rested. Karsdorp was rested as well. Vigiva, no. We can give Sviatchenko another run in the middle next to Veltman. That's our main pairing. Even though Sviatchenko's not playing amazing well, I suppose it's a betting in period. He doesn't speak the language, so it's probably going to hurt his ratings. I'm going to keep giving him goes in the team because I think it does probably help, bed them in kind of thing. So the other, like Hendricks and Wesley Hoed have actually had a fair few games, 6 and 4, and he's only had 2. So give him another run there. Dykes is going to play there. A is going to play there. The menu G class, I think that's going to be that's probably our peak. Midfield pairing there. Lassashoni is going to play out on the right in place of El Ghazi, who's only just back from injury. Fisher on the left and Milik up front. So everyone's really good conditioning, all that kind of stuff, which is awesome. So in terms of subs, we need another one probably. Probably actually take out El Ghazi. He's too low in conditioning. So put in Ruben Jensen. And who else have we got who's up in conditioning? Vigiva probably. Vigiva's probably a good option as well. It's quite versatile across the back. Alrighty, submit the team. There we go. So that's our team. Cool. So, yep, 4-4-2, which is fine. So, I'm going to have a quick look at their, these guys. Actually, no, not where are we? There we go. Have a look at their feet to see what they do. So, reasonable on the left, strong on the right. So, given they cross a lot, I'm actually going to funnel them inwards. I'm going to funnel both their wide players inwards. So Schmidt and Thorgan Hazard. So Schmidt on the left is going to be shown on the right. He's going to be shown in the left, I should say, onto his left foot. So make sure he comes inwards. And then Thorgan Hazard, if we get out of that. So I'm going to see how strong they are on their right. So very strong on his right, interesting, which could be a little bit dangerous showing him inwards, especially as he's got great crossing, only 8-14. So. And he's not natural out wide. All right, we're actually going to show you down the left. So you're probably more dangerous coming in because you've got brilliant vision. So we're going to probably keep you out of the centre of the pitch and keep you out wide where you can't use your vision as much to through balls and really neat passes. So we're going to show you onto your only him onto his left. Make sure he goes down wide. But you put this position down left as well. Funnel that one inwards. Alrighty, what else have we got? Apply advice to the team. So hard tackling, no, sorry, again. So Schmidt onto his left, Hazard onto his left. Sebastian Rudy. You're fairly strong on both. I'm actually not going to do that. And Benteke, you're only reasonable on your left. So he probably will show you on your left. Reasonable, obviously, is a bit dangerous doing that. Generally, you wouldn't do it until they're actually weak, so we're doing the same with you onto your left. So hopefully that makes a difference. We're actually going to tight mark Benteke. Hopefully we can impact. If we tight mark to him, hopefully it means we can get some good headers and stuff done there. Alrighty, team talk. I'm not going to change anything in our tactics to start with. I'm going to watch the first 10 minutes like I did last time around and see how we go. So pick up where they left off and faith in them. Seems to work for a few guys here and there, which is good. Alright guys, I'm going to pause the video again and we'll be back some stage for the game with an update. Okay guys, 0-0 half time. Had a devastating penalty miss by Milik in like the second minute. Oh, I can't believe it. At least, what's he got? He has 16 penalty and 13 composure, so he should be a fairly good penalty taker. Has he got anyone better? I suppose Lashashoni probably takes penalties more, doesn't he? So he's only 15 and 40. He's not amazing. Don't really have many amazing penalty takers, unfortunately. Yeah, don't really have anyone great. So I suppose there's no one better than Milik who could have taken it. Yeah. Anyway, that's life. So it's still 0-0. I think we're the better team. Look at these stats here. We've actually had more possession, which is a little bit surprising. They've only had 2 shots on goal. We've had 6. I've had a few long shots though, so something you have to look at a little bit in a minute, which is fine. So they're really struggling with their pass completion. They got 28% and 69%. So they're really trying to sort of hoof the ball forward a long way. It's just not really working for them. So I think the formation again is actually working for us, which is really pleasing to see. So we'll do a bit of analysis now. Actually, we'll do the team talk first, so don't miss it this time. So we're going to say it's a good first half. Keep it up. Yep, there we go. That seemed to work. Good. Alrighty, so look at some team stuff here. So look at it's probably always the first one I look at is the sort of the team makeup, how everything's working. So we've got a lot of spread there, which is quite good. sort of, everything's all spaced out fairly well as it should be. No major disasters there. We are fairly high up the pitch, which is not real surprising. I think Hoffenheim are sitting back a fair way. They're sitting really deep. Again, I'm not really quite sure why teams are sitting really deep against us. So it's their home game. They should be coming out to attack us. They should be pushing up on us a lot more. So anyway, that's fine. They're playing very narrow again, which is interesting. So look at our heat map. Yeah, a lot of real sort of space through the middle here. A lot of heat map through the middle. So interesting. I think I'm going to leave it, given we're doing so well in terms of the stats, and I think the shots and stuff. I'm going to leave it. It's probably to be expected, I guess, in some ways. Oops, sorry about that, guys. Guess it's to be expected in some ways, given that, the makeup of the actual formations, we have the midfield dominant, so we should, I guess, have a lot of play through the middle, because we're going to have an extra man always, so that's probably why we've got that big sort of heat splurge there, but that's fine. So, alright. Look at a couple more things before we jump into the next. What are we going to look at here? Probably our passing, just see how we're actually getting our passing and stuff going. Yes, a lot more out the right again. Not a whole lot of penetration in the box though, which is a bit of a problem. It's sort of passing around them. That's probably evidenced by the fact as well, the long shots. We're getting a lot of long shots, so we're not really getting the penetration that we would like. There's a few things we could do there. We could maybe... do we have work at the ball into the box? I don't think we do. No, we don't. So we may actually... It's not a counter-attacking setting, but given that we are sort of dominating possession and stuff, I'm actually tempted to try it. When you put it on, see if that works, see if that makes us be a little bit more patient, so we don't sort of... So you keep the ball a little bit more. We'll see how that goes. Look at some intercepted passes here. Nothing too much to worry about. Most of these would have been from like corners and stuff, so I'm not worried about those. Yeah, that's okay. All good. So look at our crossing. Phobia of crossing. So our crossing isn't working, excuse me, amazingly well. But that's all right. We'll keep that up. So 19, that's Karsdorp. Yep, all right. That's cool. That's good to know. We'll keep an eye on that if we need to maybe switch him over to maybe cross less or something like that. So he sort of, maybe he's a little bit more patient. Some aerial challenges. He actually have lost a few, which probably is not, probably to be expected really. So we're going to look here about Davy Claessen's on 18. So this is from a corner. Yeah, so that we did lose the first header, but that didn't come to anything, so that's fine. This is both two guys within the same play. So Karsdorp and Milik, so he's going to be here against Benteke. Yeah, so lost it, and then Leuenberg claimed it. So I think given how good Benteke is in the air, they're all from corners, right? So given how good Benteke is in the air, you're going to have to probably expect to lose some headers now and again. That's the same, the one we saw before, right? That's cool. Yeah, so nothing too much there really, which is fine. That's okay. Alright, tackles. Look at some tackles here. Lost tackles. Nothing actually too much in our area. Let's have a quick look at this number 3. So this is Veltman. See why he lost with this one up against Eric. Yeah, so that wasn't great, but it wasn't disastrous. That was okay. What about interceptions? That's a shot block defending there, number 5. Jeez. Yeah, so that was okay. Wasn't a real dangerous spot. Alright, so I think we're doing pretty well. Like we said, they haven't really had many amazing chances. We've had a few, as you can see here. That was 99 was the penalty there. I don't think they've had many chances either. They've had a couple of out wide. So number 2, that's Schmidt. Is he their right base? I think he's one of their centre players, isn't he? Opposition. No, he's out wide, so he's interesting. So that's probably because we're funneling him inwards. So I'm actually maybe we should change that. Given that he's actually getting a few shots out wide here, maybe we should, rather than showing him inwards, maybe we should just leave it. Just take that off, and our guys can do it sort of as a situational play kind of thing. Alright, we're going to do that. We're going to leave that. So he's getting a little bit few shots sort of in here because we are showing him inwards. So maybe because we're doing that, we're giving him a little bit too much space there on this sort of edge of the box here. So maybe if we just leave it, that's going to be a little bit more balanced. Alright guys, I think that's pretty much all I need to do there. We don't really need to do a whole lot of changes. Their fullbacks aren't massively attacking, so I'm not going to man mark them yet, but we'll keep an eye on that. Alright guys, I'm going to pause the video again, and we'll be back at the end of the game. Okay, so a nil game, which I think was quite a good result. I'm fairly happy with that. So I'm going to say, yeah, which was good. So I'm happy with that. That was good. I think we were the better team, actually. I think we had the better chances. We had more possession. So PSG beat Shakhtar, so we're still in second, so we're still a game clear of Hoffenheim, so we're doing quite well really, I think, after 2 games, obviously another 4 to go, so yeah, so that is good. I'm not going to run through too much of the thing. I've probably seen most of it here. I don't think too much changed in the second half. They maybe maybe pushed forward a little bit more, but not a whole lot. So you can see our spacing and stuff, our formation was still fairly solid. Getting a little bit weird. You can actually see they did push up a fair bit in the second half, so we jump in here. Yeah, they pushed up a long way in the second half. A bit weird that their number 25 was back there, but they definitely did push up a long way. I actually switched our formation, our match setting, which I didn't do at the start of the game, to, I can't see it now, our thing from defensive to counter. I actually did that about halfway through the second half. That was basically as they were pushing up, and we were giving them a little bit too much time on the ball. So we actually sort of countered that by pushing up a little bit ourselves, just to sort of compress the space in midfield in front of our penalty area, make sure we weren't giving them too much time on the ball, which is what was happening. And then that sort of stifled the game a lot more, and then we sort of basically got back into it as a bit of an even kill from there. So I'm fairly happy with that. Go away. If we get draws away at all 3 of our all 3 of our away games, if we get draws, we're going to be sitting pretty and pick up another win. So fairly happy with that. That is pretty good. So pretty good after the first couple of games. Fairly pleased. I think our counter formation is working really well, which is quite pleasing. So it makes me out for 7 to 9 days, which is fine. So yeah, so it is good. So we're sitting second in the Eredivisie table with 5 wins, 2 draws. I'm not worried about that. Only a point behind Vitesse, so that's fine. I actually play them next up in a couple of days, 3 days. So it's gonna be a big game. If we win that, obviously we go ahead. So should be interesting. Alright guys, I think I'm actually going to end the episode here. We'll jump back into it next time. We'll play our game against Vitesse in the next episode, and then we'll jump into what's the next game. Away game against PSG. That's going to be definitely our toughest game, I think, of the draw. Then we've got a home game against PSG, an away game against Shakhtar, and then a home game against Hoffenheim. So that's going to be a big, I think that one there, home game against Hoffenheim is going to be massive. So obviously the home game against PSG is going to be difficult, but never know. Probably wouldn't expect anything. I'd be happy with the draw from those 2 games. I'd be happy with the draw at home to PSG and probably lose away to PSG. But I'd be happy if we get draws or even snatch a win in one of those games. If we get 2 draws, I'd be over the moon. Another 2 points, and then if we maybe even snatch a win against Shakhtar and maybe even against Hoffenheim, that should be enough to get us through. So yeah, should be good. Alright guys, I'm going to end the episode here. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. I hope you're enjoying this series. Let me know any feedback, suggestions, comments, all that kind of stuff would be good. And yeah, that's pretty much all. So I hope you've all had a wonderful day, and I'll see you all for the next episode.